Hello everyone, welcome to the first developer video devlog for Star Shadow. Star Shadow will be an open world space opera. It will allow you, as you can see from the options on the screen, you'll have the ability to buy stocks in the equity market. There's a library, a codex of characters. Um, this game will focus on 6 degrees of separation, meaning the characters that you play, you're encouraged to make friendships and partnerships along your journey. And in the event that the character you're currently playing dies, there you, the player, will choose the next of kin or who will continue that story arc. For example, if you are playing as a mercenary and you befriend a criminal, your mercenary character is killed during some type of robbery, then on the death screen of your mercenary character, you can choose to play as the person you've befriended recently, or it could be someone from your space station, or you'll have a list of characters that you've interacted with and you started building some type of friendship or association with, and that will be how you will continue your journey in the game. So that is the premise of Star Shadow. I call it a space soap opera in the way that Mass Effect had decisions that affected the game. So the game will have action, it will be open world, there'll be space exploration, planet exploration. You'll see in this video soon some things from the game. But your decisions affect the outcome, your relationships affect your play opportunities. Example, if you befriend someone who is a politician, that gives you more access to powerful people in the local area. If you choose not to make friends with the politician, but instead you decide to blackmail them, you will lose that political tool, the ability to persuade the politician to do what you want, but you'll inversely gain influence in the criminal underworld as someone who can put the squeeze, if you will, on another person, coerce them basically to get what you want. So that is Star Shadow. I have a game developer book that I'm creating for it, my ideas and gameplay mechanics, and logos, corporations, and other things. I'm not going to share that publicly. And I've been working on Star Shadow, which had another name 10 years ago. But it's been a couple of minutes. I've bored your ears off, so let's get into it. This is the home screen. And one of the things you'll see with Star Shadow is this is the raw, how the sausage is made, if you will. You'll notice that I have like a 4-panel theme. And the reason I did that on the menus is to make things consistent. So for example, in the game, choose your resolution, window mode, you could read. These are all the graphical features that are built into the Godot game engine, which is what is used to make this game. And you set the game how you want. The audio screen, the input screen. The library, this is a little more raw. So with the library, as you see over here on the right side, the right game controller. This game will be played with a controller, Xbox or PlayStation 5 or generic controller. It will also have mouse and keyboard support, but I want the primary tool to be the control the controller for the player. So in the library, you're seeing these placeholder items, and then from there you would click, and then the information will populate on this side, and you will view a 3D version of the character or map or location or whatever you've chosen from up here. Another feature of Star Shadow is a single player game. However, it will have a multiplayer element, and I am working towards 4 people at a time, yourself plus 3 others. I believe that's the best way to balance multiplayer and latency. So if it was a bigger party, if you will, 8, 12, 15, 25 people, I'd hate for that to degrade the performance of the game. So I believe 4 is a good number. But this is the chat. It's, again, very bare bones, just giving a basic idea. I just want to get some things done and then get it in the game engine, in the game, and then build upon that. So your friends list, the message you would write, if you press send item, you will have the escrow fee, because whatever item, let me back up. When you press send item here, it would open the escrow fee, the amount, and these 2 panels. From these 2 panels, while you're still in chat talking to a friend, you have the opportunity to send them an item. And the cost, you can choose how you want to pay the escrow fee from your United, well, I'll get into the names later. But from these 4 in-game currencies, you would choose, for example, I'll use DigiCreds to send an item to someone, and then, from the friends list, confirm, and I'll get a message. So that's that. Star Shadow will also have the ability to be modded, meaning you can change the textures of characters and 3D models, change the audio. I have to look into how Godot can allow overriding a 3D model of something I create and put in the game. For example, if I create a car and it has 4 wheels, but you, the player, want a 3-wheeled version of the car, you can put the 3-wheeled version in the mods folder, and it'll overwrite my 4-wheel version. So I have to look into that, see how it's possible. But the game will have mods. The equity market. The equity market, in plain English, is the stock market. This game will have the ability to let you buy stocks, equities in companies. They'll be, according to what I have in my game plan, my game designer document, I believe off the top of my head it was 75 corporations in the game, and these are their categories. You can pause the video to see. These are the categories of each corporation: in equity, commodity, and then of course the all button will just be a really long list. If you were curious what the names meant on the chat window, for example, you go back to chat, you see Taj Cred, DigiCred, Banc, Balance, and UEAD. Those basically mean this: UEAD, United Earth Alliance Dollar, United Federation of Taju Creds, also known as Taj Creds, and DigiCreds. So now you know what those names mean from here in the chat window. And the other thing, the game has a bank. So not only can you earn money from the in-game stock market, of course you can have that money stay in the stock market, kind of like a money market, or put it into your bank account. Doesn't really earn interest, but it's a good old-fashioned kind of like savings and checking account. You would, if you want to move money between the various credits, you would choose step one, and then what you want to convert it to, conversion fee, total, and then the reason you see this part right here, this bank, looks similar to the chat window. The reason I did that is because the chat window here allows you to send items to a player. Of course, this step 3 here will be your entire inventory throughout the game. So, but when you go to the bank screen, you can't send items to a player, but you can send currency. And you can even, for example, if you have a lot of Taj creds and your friend needs, let's say UEAD, I choose Taj, convert to UEAD, it gives me the fee, and then I can, choose the player. This is like my make-believe friends list. Confirm, and then I'd get my little message in there. So those are, to review, these are the screens for Star Shadow. Now this is just a temporary screen. I plan on having cutscenes, in-game cutscenes on the main menu here, but this something is temporary. This is the main menu, of course. And, options, video settings that you can set in the game. Again, this is just bare bones. Nothing in audio yet. Nothing in inputs. Inputs will be allow you to choose from gamepad, keyboard, gamepad and keyboard, and I will look into how Godot can add, joystick support. If Godot has it, I'll put that in the game, because you will have the ability to fly spaceships and ground vehicles. This game will have seamless space to ground traversal, and even subterranean, meaning underground. I figured out a way to add caves and underground cities to my game, but you'll have to stick around and follow and like to find out. The library, the chat window, nothing in mods, the equity market, and the bank. The other screens most people don't care about: the credits, the legal, and the universe map. So let's talk about the universe. You want to know how big it is. I plan on having about 70 celestial bodies. Celestial bodies meaning moons and planets and space stations. The moons, they're a moon, you know what they are. The planets, they vary greatly, and they will be handmade by myself. The space stations will be small, which are kind of designed for people to get out of a ship, get something to eat, because there are some ships in the game that don't have beds, so you can get out, eat, sleep, whatever. Medium space stations, people already live there. population for a medium space station in the game, I'd probably put like 300 people living at that space station. That could be like medium, 300 characters. So there's some type of foot traffic. It feels alive. It's kind of like a rest area, somewhat big, large gas station. And then the large space stations will easily be, 10, 20,000 people living there. I haven't finalized the numbers, but you will be able to see a smooth progression. For example, you stop at a small space station, you can tell it's small, it has the bare minimum. You go to a medium, people live there, it has its own atmosphere. You can tell that, hey, I want to spend 20, 30 minutes here actually doing gameplay, which is something I plan to do. I would like for you, after a long day of work, to play the game, and you could spend 15 minutes to an hour at a space station, never leaving it, and all your gameplay is there. Play mini games, interact with the characters, build relationships, buy things, sell things, go to the stock market. I even have an ingenious way of adding real world internet access to the game, so that when you sit at a computer or you use your tablet, you're actually surfing the real world web while you're in the game. And yeah, so I thought about that. I have a way of implementing it. You'll have to find out more. So this is a galaxy map. I believe it was 75. How many sectors? I don't remember. I have to look. But all these cutouts is a sector, and within each sector is a couple of planets, moons, space stations. There will be some sectors that would only have probably one or two, but it is large enough to where you it's not as large as Elite Dangerous. It doesn't feel like you're really alone in space. You're going to see a lot of traffic, kind of like X4 Foundations. When you're in those really popular sectors, you see a lot of ships coming and going, and there's a lot of like AI there to make it feel populated. You will see that. And then when you get into the medium and large space stations, my inspiration is Night City, Cyberpunk 2077. In that game, the city is the feature. I love the way the city feels alive in that game, and I want to replicate that on the space stations and even on the planets. So that's what is on the galaxy map. You would choose your sector either up here and whatever other points of interest for the sector. A little information about the sector here. So just a very bare bones galaxy map. And this is an introduction. It's been 18 minutes, so I'll end it here. So this video is the introduction to what is Star Shadow, and giving you a look at my very bare bones UI. In the next video, I'm going to show you the like a dummy character I created on a dummy planet, just to make sure that the gravity works, and you'll get to see my handmade 3D planet.